So the U.S. Supreme Court, they're going to take up a case involving the NCAA and compensation for student athletes. Yeah, this case will determine whether the NCAA rules that put limits on athlete competition are a violation of antitrust laws or not. Yeah, the NCAA has recently changed the rules about allowing athletes to profit from their names or likeliness, opening the possibility of some really big endorsement deals on the collegiate level. I'd love to get your thoughts on this. This is a real business story. I mean, listen, I understand how, you want to make money. I get it. 512-836-0590.
I mean, we've been talking about this for a while now, and I still just don't like the idea of this at all.
Why?
I think it's going to create a host of problems within the team itself, as far as jealousy, as far as competitiveness between the team. I think it's going to create ill will among team members. I think it could split up the team aspect of things. It's going to be, the ones that are making big bucks over here due to endorsements, and then the ones over here aren't making a dime because nobody cares and nobody wants to, get them any endorsements, things like that. And plus, I think it just takes away this is one of the things that turns off a lot of people, maybe me as well, to professional football, because it is so dang corporate and commercial, and it really just kind of overshadows the sport itself. That's one thing that I makes me more interested in college football. To the extent it does. I'm not a huge football fan, but to the extent it does, just because it has been about the pure sport and spirit and tradition.
I do wonder how it would affect programs across the country, because that would be a recruiting tool. I mean, if you're a great high school player, you're going to want to go where you're going to make the most money, right?
Right.
And so it may lead to fewer teams. But then again, what's wrong with allowing an 18-year-old man or woman to make money on their likeliness and their talents? I mean, the university's making a fortune. The University of Texas has made a whole lot of money off Ricky Williams.
Then there's that aspect.
And he made no money off of them whatsoever.
Exactly.
We could go on and on and on.
Campbell.
It's a real issue. And I think it would totally change the makeup of collegiate sports.
Yeah.
I think there'd be some universities that could not attract any athletes at all. And so their programs would just fade away. You'd end up with just big cities and the big universities playing football.
Yeah.
Name Ohio, Michigan, Alabama. They already get all the best athletes, right? Jump in here at 512-836-0590. The reason this is a sticky point is because the NFL is a little bit different than the NBA when it comes to recruiting athletes. You got to go through college to play in the NFL. You don't have to in the NBA. You can go straight from high school straight to the NBA and start making a living.
Or baseball, for that matter.
Or baseball.
Yeah.
So there's kind of a different mechanism there, if you will.
True.
Jump in here at 512-836-0590. Sandra is in Round Rock this morning. Hey, Sandra. Good morning.
Hi, Sandra.
Good morning and Merry Christmas.
Yeah.
Back to you, Sandra.
Thank you. I just wanted to know, are these athletes going to have to pay back these scholarships? Because the only reason they'll be able to earn all this money, is because the platform that the school has given them through the scholarship.
Sure.
So to me, if they're profiting from that, then they have to pay back the scholarship.
Good question.
Or not even receive a scholarship at all.
Who is not profiting.
Yeah, give it to somebody else. Yeah,
that is not profiting from that, because that's the only reason that they would be able to make that money, is the school giving them that platform and all that publicity and that airtime for the games, whatever sport it is. So to me, they would have to pay it back, and the scholarship could go to somebody who is not profiting from it.
Well, and listen, Sandra, you're assuming that all student athletes actually get a quality education. That is not the case at all. Right. Some of them do. Some of them take it seriously, and they do dive deep into their own personal education and get great degrees and go on to do great things. But by and large, hang on a second. Yeah. By and large, student athletes are not getting a good education.
Well, that's up to them. I have a
son
that's scholarshiped on football, and no, at times he didn't take his studies real serious, But there were times when we had to have the talk, and then the coaches had to say, "Hey, you're here on, this is going to end in 4 years. You have to take your studies serious." And so he did.
Well, listen, we're kind of
to the student.
Yeah, we're kind of getting ahead of the game here. The Supreme Court is going to take up this case involving compensation for student athletes. Do you have a problem with that in general?
Yes, they're compensated for their athletic participation in the form of a scholarship.
Yeah, got you, Sandra. Thank you. Let's see. Becky, good morning on the Todd and Don Show.
What? Hey,
now, I get Sandra's point, but the other side of that coin is how much money does a college make on the backs of those youngsters that are playing?
Yeah.
And
How
plus,
many?
they have to sign a waiver. They give up all of their rights for injury and that kind of thing. And what about the coaches who make a nice penny on the backs of the performance of those kids?
No kidding.
So if you're going to throw the value of the scholarship in there, how about all the T-shirt sales? How about all the novelty sales? So those kids should definitely get some pay for that.
I bet Johnny Manziel would like a little percentage of jersey sales with his name on it.
No doubt about it. No doubt.
Robert in Lakeway, good morning.
Hey, Robert.
Hey, morning, guys. Great show.
Thanks, Robert.
I think maybe instead of the kids getting agents and things of that nature, the school pays them because they're making money hand over fist. I think the school could come up with a structure where every athlete gets paid instead of, like you're saying, some that don't play as much, sit the bench a lot more, make nothing, and then the quarterback and running backs are making tons of money.
Yeah. No, listen, with that thing in mind, with what you described, Robert, in mind, that would lead to many schools have to just get rid of their programs completely. There's only so many quarterbacks out there, right? And so if you got the money to pay the best athletes, you're going to pay to get the best ones. And so one team, one university, or a handful of universities would have just the very best athletes.
Let me ask this: Is endorsing, let's say Reebok endorsing a particular quarterback in college football?
They don't.
In college football, does that endorsement would it mean as much to the company? Would it really mean big bucks to a company to do that? Is it really worth it for a company to endorse a college player versus a professional player who's at a higher exposure?
Yes, absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. That's why they do it. Adidas, Nike, Under Armour. I think Under Armour has a long-term contract with Texas Tech. Yeah, they sell. Well, here's what they do. Every jersey they sell in that city in Lubbock is an Under Armour team jersey.
No, I know.
So of course they're making money.
Okay, because I remember UT back before there was any corporate aspect to it whatsoever, to the point where they bought their uniforms through Rooster Andrews Sporting Goods,
and he benefited from that, didn't he?
Well, damn right he did.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you answered your own question. There you go.
Well, okay, yeah.
John in Austin. Good morning.
Hey, good morning.
Hi.
Hey, I just got done reading a book by Michael Lewis. He's got a book, Moneyball. It's called Playing to Win, and it exposes the youth sports industrial complex that has absolutely blown up over the last 20 years. Now, I have 3 kids, and we got caught up in the traveling teams and the youth sports select teams and spent thousands and thousands of dollars, and my concern, I think the wrinkle on this that you guys most people might not be thinking about, if you've had kids and you've gone through this crazy kid sports, if they start paying college kids, it's only going to then put more of a machine in place to keep pumping in these youth programs, these kids growing up, and it's a racket, and it's a mess, and it's a shame. And I'm concerned that if we start paying college kids, it's going to further drive all of these youth programs to grow and suck money out of parents and ruin their 401ks and their retirements and everything else, trying to get their kids into college.
John,
play sports.
John, I hate to break it to you. Everything you just said is already happening, man. Parents go broke. Yeah. Parents go broke, borrow money just to get their kids, their daughters, into those elite club volleyball teams.
Yeah, right, they do.
I've seen it with my own eyes.
Large dollars.
It's a big deal, and you know what? It's good. It's good to get kids involved in youth sports. It's good. The money side of it, the Supreme Court side of it, I don't know, man. Jump in here at 512-836-0590.
The Todd and Don Show.